Now, you can go to your standard NBA store and get the Warriors jerseys, right? But the problem is, man, when you're walking around town or you're out watching the game, every other dude has the same jersey and shirt on, man. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been rocking the custom gear from Hooper Nation Shop, man. And when the Warriors win for 48 hours, put in the coupon code WIN20 to get 20% off. Check them out. Find yourself something unique that you can rock when you're repping the Dubs, man. All right, y'all. Now, normally, I would probably have something to say about that attire, but that's how good dude played. I'm gonna just leave it alone right there. KD, second finals with the Warriors. You see early on here, J.R. Smith swan dives at Klay Thompson's knee. Take another look at it. Now, I want y'all to tell me what you thought of this play in the comments. Stay tuned for my afterthoughts. I'll tell you exactly how I felt about it as you see him head to the locker room. And honestly, I was surprised he was putting any weight on that knee after the way that collision looked. Now, there was no Andre Iguodala for the Warriors, but Kevin Love would start for the Cavs. Passing concussion protocol, you see him get to the rim using his size. Watch him hit Draymond here with the back door. So playing in game one, and despite the Supercuts fade, was very effective early on for the Cavs, but no one was more effective than this man, LeBron James. Just big boying Sean Livingston all the way to the rim, and Golden State was playing him straight up. One thing we figured out game one, David West will not be playing the rest of this series, was absolutely abused by LeBron early on, and he plays with the slower, controlled rhythm, and that's how he's able to play so much with such a high usage rate. It's on his own time. KD gets it out quick to a streaking Steph Curry, but this first half, again, was played at the Cavs' pace, and they were the aggressors. The one positive I'll say for Golden State's offense was it was Steph, the main decision maker, and initiating the offense, and he ran it well. There's Slim on the break for the dunk. And so here we go, winding down yet another underwhelming first half from this Warriors team. 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's 30 from 30. Okay, I lied. That's probably 35 feet. The chef rails the three ball to tie the game going into the half. Take a look at that, man. He knew it was good before he left his hands. 1, 2, 3. Second half, surprise start for JaVale McGee, and the man got loose in 6 minutes, 4 points and a rebound, but his energy was felt more than the stats. Klay, I don't know about throwing him a lob when he was toughing it out on one leg, but he got it done. But after your standard Golden State third quarter blitz, it was LeBron like, I got this. Watch him sneak this three up. The dude was ultra efficient and honestly, probably the best finals performance I've seen from any player. And it was the three ball. Look at him. He can match the range of Steph Curry. You seen him adapting to the league and adjusting his game, and he could do no wrong offensively. But you know how the story goes. Would he get enough help from his team late? Sean Livingston, the dime to Kevon Looney, who had several big plays in 24 minutes, getting the start. Here we go into the fourth quarter. And like I said, how much can one man do? But it's the same old story. He just kept on doing it. The hammer at the rim. He didn't even seem to slow down. Why? Because Golden State continued to let him play at his slow pace. Terrible weak side help defense from Kevin Durant all night long as they switched and got what they wanted. Durant struggling offensively. Look who with the bailout. Draymond Green, a huge three. Here we go, under 3 minutes, and it's more LeBron, Steph, and again, KD late to the rim, letting him waltz in. I had mentioned in the previous series, this is the best defense I've seen Steph Curry play, and he did an admirable job. There's Looney at least making a wall at the rim, showing some sort of resistance. Durant take no, but it didn't matter. This dude, 51 points on the night. And like I said, ultra efficient. I believe 21 of 32 shooting, something ridiculous like that. Durant, and here's the controversial call of the game. And I'm here to tell y'all right now, that dude was moving. He was moving. I don't know why we're talking about restricted lines. He never set his feet. Watch, there's another hop. There's the step, and then you see the hop right there? That's too late. He was moving. It's a good call. I don't want to hear it. So after the complaining in the free throws, it was Cleveland's ball with the chance to take the lead, and watch KD switch and just let him coast down the lane. The strength, the patience, the elevation, and the touch, the dude's game, he might be at his peak right now, but it was the chef in his house and one driving to the basket and answering the bell late in this game. Here we go, 15 seconds left, and they finally decide to trap LeBron, but there's a miscommunication. Watch George Hill cut back door as Draymond watches ball and Klay's forced to foul. So George Hill in his first NBA Finals game, who is very quiet on the night, steps to the line, and it's J.R. Smith with the offensive rebound, but call it karma or call him just brainless, dribbles the clock out, and Golden State escapes the possession without even a shot on goal, and we're going to head to overtime. LeBron cannot believe it. Now, take another look at this. Look at KD with no effort on the glass in that situation is just inexcusable to me. But JR can say whatever he wants. Everybody in the world knows he thought they had the lead. Take a look at, otherwise he would have given the ball to LeBron, or when is he ever shy to shoot? We just all know it, so let's just call it what it was. Heading into overtime, at home, it was all Golden State, and this man, Klay Thompson, coming back from the knee injury and continued to deliver and step up in big games. Here we go. I thought this was an opportunity for a timeout, but Golden State wins the scramble, and then Livingston kicks it out. Who else? Second three of the game. He hasn't hit a three, it feels like, all playoffs, and all of a sudden, when you need him, he's there, and then this happens. Game is all but over, right? A double-digit lead, as like I said, Golden State really steamrolled the Cavs in this overtime, and the trash talking starts. First it was Steph and LeBron, and then Mr. Kardashian decides to get involved after really a quiet performance from him in 20 minutes. Would he have 4 or 5 rebounds? And he immediately gets the flagrant 2 for throwing an elbow at Sean Livingston. Now take a look at what he does here to Draymond. Now, answer me this. If Draymond Green does that to Tristan Thompson, there would be outrage. All that said, I don't want to see a suspension because the Cavs have enough built-in excuses as it is. Golden State steals game 1 at home, where LeBron, in an epic performance, he has to feel robbed. I just don't want to hear anything about that block charge call. That was the right call. All right, where do we begin, y'all? Where do we begin? This shit was wild. This shit was wild, and I'm not pleased, man. I'm pissed off right now. I am. I'm pissed off. I got some hot takes for y'all. First off, J.R. Smith with your swan dive into Klay Thompson. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. And I wish someone would say it too. I know everybody around both organizations will say the right thing, but if you watch him, he lays out. He lays out. I know he slipped, but he lays out across Klay's legs and then quickly, oh, my bad, my bad. So I'm not buying it just because I know who you are, JR. So first off, fuck you. Right away, the game, the intensity level I felt was like 2 notches below the Western Conference Finals. And that was to Cleveland's benefit, as well as the pace, right? As well as the pace. Kevon Looney getting the start, no Andre Iguodala. And the thing with LeBron was amazing. I don't want to take anything away from him. He's amazing. He's amazing. But what I think the mistake that Golden State made was, and you saw them not willing to switch on the first screen. There was possessions where they made him run 2 screens, make him get deeper into the clock where they weren't switching right away. But I felt that they were just letting him play at his own pace, right? They were letting him just do things way too comfortably. If he's already going to score 40 regardless one way or another, you might as well, just like with James Harden, make him use more energy than he wants. And I thought that the first half was played at Cleveland's pace and LeBron wasn't uncomfortable. I think if LeBron can play at the rate and the comfortability that he played in that first half, he can do it for 7 games. So I think you got to up the intensity level. Steph had a few possessions on him in the second half where they changed it up. They picked him up in the backcourt a couple times. Second of all, Sean Livingston, man, if not now, when? Like I know he closed the game and played in overtime and had that basket off the Steph pass, but his defense has just been unacceptable. It really has. And like, I'm just down on him. I'd almost rather see someone else in there, whether it be Swaggy P if Iguodala comes back. I don't know. I just think Sean is not the player he used to be, man. And these things happen when you win championships. You get paid, you get older, so it is what it is. The Kevin Durant story, man. The Kevin Durant story. And those of you that watch my content, and if you remember, I kind of made a big deal about that Bill Simmons interview at midseason, right? And KD, he sure doesn't look like last finals. Right? He sure doesn't look like KD of last finals. And I'm not surprised, you know why? Because maybe Kevin Durant, and I'm saying this as if KD's watching this. And you know why? Because we know he's got them fucking rabbit ears. We know he's got them. So, hey, maybe he will stumble across this tonight. He and Jerry Colangelo. But anyway, the thing is I was taken back with that interview. I believe it was in January or February, at how different he was as opposed to a year ago. And, you know, what was the thing that he kept saying in it? All you blog boys are going to say I've changed and blah, blah, blah. Well, man, you look like you changed on the court tonight, brother. That box out on those George Hill free throws was completely unacceptable. And you want to know the most entertaining thing about the game was in the overtime, there was another free throw situation and Draymond barks at KD, hey, get down on the box. And Klay on one leg slips down there. He's like, no, I got it. Let me get down on there on that box, because his lack of boxing out really killed us in this game. Kevin Love and that other dude I'm going to get to here in a minute, right? But KD, man, I'll be honest with y'all. I was cursing. I basically cursed him off the Warriors during the final 5 minutes of that game. So, I let my emotions get the best of me. But again, the performance on the defensive end, the effort level, the sense of urgency was unacceptable from Kevin Durant. It really looks like he's got his ring, and he just doesn't look like he has the same hunger or intensity, man. So I don't know what to say about it. There's going to be, obviously this series is probably going to be more than 4 or 5 games, right? I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions. If you remember the 15 series, a lot of those games, right? The Warriors won in 6, but there were so many games that came down to the final few minutes. And another thing that I want to complain about, again, you're getting grumpy and angry alchemy tonight, despite the win, because I'll be honest with you, we didn't deserve to win this game. We didn't. I didn't like it. Now, there were some efforts that were amazing, so I don't want to couple it all together. Sean and KD, I'm salty. I'm salty at their efforts tonight. I really am. And it was on the defensive end for both of them. Offensively, KD, you see they send the late double at him just like Houston did, and it just seems to be a problem. And I've talked about this, those of my patrons that know, I've talked about how there's no gray area with Durant. When he gets the ball, it's either I'm looking to score or I'm not. And so once he's looking to score, that late double is very effective. It's a mindset problem with Kevin Durant offensively. But again, sometimes shots don't fall. I'm not going to kill him. I know he will shoot better. It was the other end. It was the boxing out in the defense where LeBron on those screens, right? He would wait for Durant to try to switch. Again, something I've brought up, he switches too early. And LeBron obviously spotted that Durant likes to switch too early, would let him start to switch and then never use the screen and waltz that right down the lane for baskets. And so that's just something that's got adjustments again. Now, Steph Curry came to play, man. We talked about Steph not getting his finals MVP, and in my preview talking about how he should have the freshest legs, and it looked like it. He played good defensively on all those switches. I thought he gave a great effort, right? And then offensively, it speaks for itself. Really, he was the guy. Klay Thompson. Klay's a fucking legend, man. Klay's a fucking legend. Again, I'll be clear with you. This is probably not the popular take. I think J.R. Smith gooned him. I really do. Now, on my extended cut tomorrow, I'm going to slow it down and watch it over and over. But I understand slipping. But he fully extended and continued to swan dive at his legs. And so, I have no problem with putting in Zaza for a few minutes. I mean, if you want to play Goonie, we can play Goonie. And that leads me to the end of this game. Again, a game that I don't think the Warriors deserve to win. I really don't. Despite the legendary performance from Klay Thompson on one leg, and Steph looking like a finals MVP, right? Probably one of his better finals performances I can remember. That leads me to, hey, y'all need to go get that boom. Called it, man. Oh, it's really like gambling without risk. And what you're doing is you're picking live games, and as long as you're picking winners, your points are ranking up. Now, the top 20 each week get a cash payout. But there's a special competition going on right now. The first person to 1,000 points in a week, that's $1,000 cash in your pocket. T-Top Kardashian. T-Top Kardashian. I'm confused because you sound like a surfer bro, but then you have the mannerisms of Medea. So get your soft ass out of there. No one believes you. You need more people. You ain't built like that. And I know that they're not going to suspend him, but it almost warranted it. I have to look. I'm highly emotional right now. But I will say that scuffle at the end of the game there, I think that was the best thing that could happen for the Warriors, because it finally, hopefully, is going to put their antenna up. And I almost can't blame them for the lack of intensity, just the way the media, myself included, the Vegas odds, and everybody's talked about this playoff matchup, right? So it was kind of like, oh, well, it wasn't that shocking, but for it to carry on into the second half, and LeBron just played out of his mind. But I think that they may have woken up Golden State with the scuffle at the end of the game. One could hope. Now, obviously, the story moving forward is Klay Thompson. I've played, fake doctor all season long and just hypothesized on what I think about injuries. First, I thought his knee was blown out. I was like, Bay Area, we need to not let J.R. Smith out of Oakland. Like, I was fucking hot. And then when he came back, man, the Warrior, and he's just one of those players where the numbers won't necessarily be there and you won't say like, oh, he's one of the greatest players ever, but he's a fucking legend already. If you look at the things he's done, he's just a legend in his own right already. And coming back and contributing the way he did in this game was legendary for Klay. Shout out to him. But if you noticed, the limp got progressively worse as the game went on. And by the end of the game, he was dragging the leg. And so that's going to be the story moving into game 2, which is Sunday. So what do you have? Some time off here, right? This series is spread out a little longer, I believe, than the conference finals. So that has to be monitored. I think they're going to label it the same injury as Iguodala. I don't know, but they were saying it was a contusion. And that big picture, that's a blessing because it looked like he blew everything out the way it wobbled out. But if what's injuring him, what's hurting him is actually a contusion, big picture, that's great for the longevity of his career, right? But for this series, we have to see how he wakes up tomorrow. I'm sure the Warriors are going to play it extremely tight to the vest. And not to be negative, but let's say they knew he was done for the series. They're not going to tell us that. They're going to trickle out the information as we've seen teams do, the Belichickian style with these reports, as we've seen with Iguodala. And so will that enter Patrick McCall, Swaggy? I don't know. But then again, Klay is such a legend that he may come out on Sunday and look like it never fucking happened. So that's what we all got to monitor moving forward into game 2. And man, that was... Again, I have to relook at it right now. A lot of this take is just off emotions and fresh off watching the game. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the performance outside of Steph and Klay. How about Draymond though? BDD, shout out Warriors World, and knocking down those threes at the end there. That was the clutch gene is real. If you didn't believe in it, that the clutch gene is real. But LeBron, I mentioned this in my preview video, man, he's a much better shooter now. And the way you've seen him score throughout these playoffs, I think Golden State, one adjustment I will point out, you might want to double him. a little more the way he was going. But again, you heard Steph at the end talk about game 1 was settling in, and now they can make some adjustments. So I think both teams will make some adjustments, and I hope that spat at the end of the game has woken up these champions. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.